My friends, life often tests our patience in the waiting rooms of time. We pray, we plan, we work hard, and yet nothing seems to move. The doors remain closed, opportunities seem to vanish, and silence echoes louder than answers. In such moments, our hearts begin to whisper, "Maybe this isn't meant for me." But let me tell you something beautiful today. Your delay is not your denial. When something you desire doesn't happen instantly, it doesn't mean it never will. Sometimes, life is not saying no, it's simply saying not yet. There is a divine timing that governs everything in this universe. The sun doesn't rise before its time. The flower doesn't bloom before its season. And the blessings meant for you will never arrive 1 second too early or too late. We live in a generation that values speed, fast food, fast delivery, fast success. But growth doesn't always happen in haste. Some of the most beautiful things in life, like character, wisdom, love, and faith, take time. The delay is the space where your strength is built, your vision is sharpened, and your heart learns to trust beyond what it sees. Think about it. If every dream came true instantly, we would never learn perseverance. If every prayer was answered immediately, we would never learn faith. And if every door opened easily, we would never appreciate the value of what's behind it. Waiting is not wasting, it's preparing. The delay is not punishment, it's protection. Delays in life are not denials. They are divine pauses that prepare us for greater things. When something we deeply desire doesn't happen in the time we expect, our natural tendency is to become anxious, disappointed, or even doubtful of ourselves. We begin to wonder whether our efforts have gone unnoticed, or if we are somehow unworthy of what we seek. But what if the delay isn't a rejection at all? What if it's a form of protection, preparation, and alignment orchestrated by a higher wisdom that sees what we cannot see? Life, in its profound rhythm, often slows us down not to discourage us, but to strengthen us. A delay can be the space between who we are and who we need to become in order to handle what we're asking for. Think about the seed that's planted beneath the soil. It doesn't sprout the moment it's buried. There's a period of darkness, silence, and stillness. But that unseen season is when the most important work happens. The roots grow deep before the stem reaches upward. Similarly, in life, when nothing seems to be happening, something vital is developing within us. We're growing roots, patience, humility, endurance, and wisdom. These invisible strengths become the foundation for visible success later on. If a seed were to sprout before its roots were strong enough, it would wither under the first harsh wind. In the same way, if we receive our blessings before we're ready, we might lose them or misuse them. Delays often carry divine timing that aligns opportunities, people, and circumstances perfectly. For instance, you might be waiting for a dream job, but the position that truly fits your purpose hasn't even been created yet. You might be longing for a relationship, but the right person is still in their own process of growth and healing. In the Sometimes life delays what you desire because it's preparing both you and the blessing to meet at the right moment. If it happened earlier, you might not recognize its value. If it happened later, you might not have the same faith to embrace it. Timing is not just about convenience, it's about alignment. Moreover, delays are also the testing ground for our faith. It's easy to trust when everything falls into place, but real faith is proven in the space between asking and receiving. It's in the moments of silence, when nothing seems to move, that we learn to rely on something greater than our plans. Waiting teaches surrender. It reminds us that control is an illusion and that sometimes the best thing we can do is remain steadfast and keep doing our part while trusting that the unseen hand is still working in our favor. What looks like a pause is often a preparation for expansion. Every delay carries lessons that polish our character. The person who learns to wait gracefully becomes stronger, more grounded, and more grateful when the right moment finally arrives. So, the next time you face delay, don't see it as life saying no. See it as life saying, you're growing. You're being refined, not rejected. Because when the time is right, what's meant for you will flow effortlessly, and you'll realize that the delay was never a denial, but a divine design meant to make you ready for something far greater than you ever imagined. Every unanswered prayer may be a not yet, not a never. Often, in the quiet moments when we plead for something with our whole heart, a dream, a healing, a breakthrough, and nothing happens, we feel a deep ache of disappointment. We assume silence means rejection, that our efforts have gone unnoticed, or that our desires are unworthy of fulfillment. But life doesn't operate on our timelines. The universe, or the divine intelligence that governs it, knows the right time for everything. Sometimes, the delay in receiving what we want is not a denial but a message that says, wait, the time is not right yet. It's not that our prayers aren't being heard. It's that they are being answered in a way that aligns perfectly with our growth and destiny. When we ask for something, we often see only the surface of what we desire. We see what we want, but not what it truly requires. We see the prize, but not the process. Yet life understands both. It knows that granting something before we are emotionally, mentally, or spiritually ready could harm more than help. The not yet moments protect us from the consequences of premature blessings. Think of a child asking to drive a car. The parents, not yet, isn't cruel, it's caring. It's not a refusal, it's preparation. Similarly, when life says, not yet, it's not withholding your dreams, and nurturing you into the person capable of carrying them wisely and sustainably. In this waiting period is where faith is refined. Anyone can believe when life says, yes. But true strength is built when you keep believing even in the silence. The waiting tests our patience, our perseverance, and our trust. It teaches us that faith isn't about instant answers, it's about enduring belief. It's a quiet confidence that whispers, even if I don't see it yet, I know it's on the way. Every time we choose to trust during a delay, we strengthen our spiritual muscles. We learn to detach from control, to rest in the flow of divine timing, and to accept that sometimes the best answer isn't yes, right now, it's wait, you're being prepared. There's also a beautiful truth hidden in the phrase, not yet. Sometimes the blessing we're asking for needs time to grow. The right opportunity, the right person, the right environment. All these are being arranged in the unseen. Just as a seed takes time to sprout and bloom, the things meant for you are taking shape behind the curtain of life. You may not see it, but the pieces are moving, the timing is aligning, and when everything is ready, the door will open effortlessly. What you once prayed for will meet you without struggle, because both you and your blessing will have matured. When we learn to embrace the not yet, we step into peace. We stop chasing what isn't ready and start trusting the process. The waiting no longer feels like punishment, but like partnership. With time, with purpose, and with something far greater than ourselves. Every unanswered prayer is not a rejection. It's a redirection towards something better, something deeper, something right for you. The delay is simply an invitation to grow in faith and patience until the universe gently whispers, "No, it's your time." The universe operates on perfect timing. Everything unfolds when it's meant to. In life, we often get caught in the illusion that we control when and how things should happen. We plan, we strive, and when our expectations don't align with reality, frustration sets in. But if we take a closer look at nature, we'll see a deep and unshakable truth. Everything in this universe moves according to an unseen order. The sun rises and sets at its appointed time. The tides flow in harmony with the moon. The caterpillar transforms into a butterfly only when its wings are ready. Nothing in creation is ever early or late. It all happens precisely when it's supposed to. So why do we think our lives should be any different? There's a rhythm, a divine synchronization that governs everything we experience. The opportunities we seek, the people we meet, the moments that change our paths, all of these are orchestrated in perfect timing. But our human impatience makes us want to rush the process. We crave instant results, instant recognition, instant success. Yet, what we forget is that rushed outcomes rarely last. A fruit picked too soon is sour. A masterpiece painted in haste loses its beauty. In the same way, when we try to force things before their time, we end up with results that don't satisfy our soul. Waiting may feel uncomfortable, but it allows life to arrange everything with precision and purpose. There's a greater intelligence that sees the bigger picture. While we only see one chapter, life sees the entire story. Sometimes delays happen because something better is still being prepared. The right door hasn't opened yet, not because it's locked forever, but because what's behind it isn't ready. Or maybe we're not ready to walk through it. What feels like a setback is often just life's way of aligning the timing so that when your opportunity comes, you'll be fully equipped to make the most of it. Imagine if every dream came true the moment you thought of it, without the lessons, without the maturity, without the preparation. Would you be able to handle it? Probably not. Perfect timing is not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you need to be before you receive it. This universal timing also teaches us trust. When things seem delayed, it's easy to feel discouraged or assume that life has forgotten us. But in reality, everything is quietly working in our favor. The silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is being prepared behind the scenes. Just like the earth beneath the winter snow looks barren, but is secretly preparing for spring. Your life might look still, but growth is happening underneath. The universe is aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances that you can't see yet. When we learn to respect this timing, peace begins to replace pressure. We stop forcing outcomes and start flowing with life. We understand that what's meant for us won't miss us, and what's not meant for us will never stay. The key is to stay faithful and patient during the waiting, knowing that every delay, every detour, and every unanswered prayer is part of a perfect design that's unfolding exactly when it should. Life doesn't move on our schedule, it moves on divine timing. And when the moment finally arrives, it will come effortlessly, beautifully, and right on time, because it was always meant to. Waiting develops patience, resilience, and trust. Quality is essential for lasting success. In a world that celebrates speed and instant results, waiting can feel like a punishment. We live in a time where everything is just a click away: fast food, fast communication, fast delivery. But while the world runs faster, our inner growth still takes time. The most meaningful things in life, like maturity, wisdom, and inner peace, can't be downloaded or delivered overnight. They must be developed slowly through experience, perseverance, and the quiet art of waiting. Every delay, every pause, every unanswered moment is not wasted. It is teaching us something far more valuable than the thing we are waiting for. When life places us in seasons of waiting, it's like being enrolled in a spiritual classroom where patience is the main subject. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing, it means maintaining faith and peace while doing what you can. It's the ability to stay grounded even when progress isn't visible. The waiting season tests how deeply we can trust when everything around us feels uncertain. It teaches us to surrender control and to believe that life is still moving forward. Even if we can't see the steps, when we learn to wait with grace, we are actually strengthening the foundation upon which our future will stand. Resilience is another beautiful byproduct of waiting. Every delay that doesn't break you builds you. Every closed door trains your heart to try again. Life's pauses are where strength is born. It's easy to keep faith when things go our way, But resilience is forged when we keep showing up even when we can't see results. The person who has learned to wait and endure becomes unshakable because they've faced disappointment and still chosen to rise. Waiting builds emotional muscle. It makes you stronger, calmer, and more adaptable. It prepares you to handle future challenges with maturity instead of panic. Waiting also deepens our trust in ourselves, in time, and in something greater than us. When we can't rush the outcome, we're forced to rely on faith. This trust transforms anxiety into acceptance. It helps us realize that there's a larger rhythm guiding our lives, one that knows when to open doors and when to hold them shut. Sometimes what feels like a delay is simply life protecting us from something that isn't good for us yet. Trusting the timing doesn't make waiting easy, but it makes it peaceful. It's no longer a battle against time, it becomes a partnership with time. Think of how gold is refined. It must go through intense heat to be purified. The waiting season is our refining fire. It shapes us, clarifies our purpose, and purifies our intentions. Without that process, our blessings might feel empty or fleeting. Waiting gives meaning to what we receive because it changes who we are before we receive it. When we finally reach the place we've been striving for, we'll realize that the strength, character, and faith we gain during the waiting were not just preparation. They were the true blessings. The waiting made us ready, resilient, and rooted. Because lasting success doesn't come from speed. It comes from endurance, patience, and the quiet confidence that everything worthwhile takes time to grow. Fast success may fade quickly. Slow growth builds strong foundations. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, many people chase speed over substance. Everyone wants to rise quickly, be noticed immediately, and achieve success overnight. But what comes fast often fades just as fast. True greatness, the kind that lasts, is never built in haste. It's built slowly, layer by layer, through patience, discipline, and consistent effort. The most beautiful trees take years to grow, but once they do, they stand firm through every storm. Similarly, a life that's built slowly and carefully develops roots that no hardship can shake. When success arrives too quickly, we might not have the strength or wisdom to sustain it. It's like constructing a tall building on weak ground. It looks impressive for a while, but eventually it collapses under its own weight. Slow growth, on the other hand, allows us to develop the inner stability to handle the outer success. It gives us time to learn, to fail, to rise, and to understand the value of what we're creating. The longer the preparation, the stronger the foundation. Every challenge we face and every delay we endure is adding depth and resilience to our character. We may not see it immediately but we're being shaped for something greater than what quick success could ever offer. When we grow slowly, we learn to appreciate the process rather than just the outcome. We understand that every small step, every quiet effort, every unseen sacrifice matters. Fast success often skips the lessons that slow growth teaches: humility, gratitude, endurance, and wisdom. The person who rises slowly learns to value every inch of progress because they know the cost behind it. They've built something real, not a farce, aid that crumbles at the first sign of pressure. Slow growth may be frustrating at times, but it's also fulfilling because it builds substance rather than surface. There's also a quiet confidence that comes with slow growth. When you've walked the long road, you stop fearing failure because you've already faced it and survived. You stop comparing yourself to others because you've learned that timing is different for everyone. You no longer chase validation because your growth has given you inner assurance. This kind of confidence can't be achieved through shortcuts. It's earned through persistence, through showing up day after day, even when no one is watching. That's the kind of growth that lasts a lifetime. Nature itself teaches us this truth. The bamboo tree, for example, spends years growing underground before it breaks through the surface. For a long time, it seems like nothing is happening, but during that unseen period, its roots are spreading wide and deep, preparing to support massive growth later. When it finally starts growing above the ground, it can shoot up several feet in just weeks. The same happens in life. Sometimes you feel stuck, unnoticed, or stagnant, but in reality, your roots are expanding. You're developing strength, experience, and depth that will sustain your future success. Fast success may feel exciting, but slow growth is what gives meaning. When you've built something step by step, through effort and persistence, it becomes unshakable. You know how to protect it, how to nurture it, and how to rebuild it if needed. The foundation becomes part of your identity. That's why slow growth is never wasted time. It's the making of a strong, stable, and deeply fulfilled person. What's built with patience lasts far beyond the applause. It stands firm, rooted in purpose, ready to weather every season that life brings. Delays can serve as protection from unseen challenges or premature success. Sometimes in life, when we face closed doors, unanswered prayers, or missed opportunities, we immediately assume that something has gone wrong. We start questioning ourselves. Did I make a mistake? Am I not good enough? Why isn't this happening for me? But often, what we interpret as disappointment is actually divine protection. Life sees what we cannot. It shields us from paths that may look appealing now, but could bring pain, confusion, or failure later. Not every delay is a denial. Some are simply detours that keep us safe until the right road is ready. When we rush into things before their proper time, we risk stepping into spaces we are not yet equipped to handle. Imagine being handed a heavy responsibility before developing the strength to carry it. It would crush rather than elevate us. The same applies to success, relationships, and opportunities. Premature success can destroy a person faster than failure if the foundation isn't ready. The delay, then, is not a punishment. It's a pause that allows us to build the strength wisdom, and emotional stability needed to handle what we're praying for. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, delays certain outcomes not to hurt us, but to protect us from harm we can't yet perceive. Sometimes, the things we desperately want are not as good as they appear. What looks like a blessing may have hidden challenges. Life, knowing this, prevents us from walking into traps disguised as opportunities. A job that didn't work out might have been a toxic environment. A relationship that ended could have saved you from heartbreak or loss of peace. A dream that was delayed may have needed better timing to truly flourish. We often see the closed door, but not what stands behind it. The delay acts as a protective shield, keeping us away from experiences that could harm our spirit or derail our growth. Delays also give us perspective. In the waiting, we have time to reflect and realign. What we wanted so badly at one point might not be what we truly need later. If everything happened instantly, we wouldn't have the chance to discern what aligns with our higher purpose. The pause gives us space to mature, to evaluate our desires, our values, and our direction. Sometimes, by the time the opportunity returns, we've grown enough to handle it with grace. Other times, we realize it was never meant for us at all, and that realization itself becomes a form of protection. Life's protection often hides beneath the disguise of delay. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to grow frustrated. But if we could see what lies ahead, we would be grateful for the divine hand holding us back. The delay is a barrier against what might have broken us. It's as though life is whispering, "Not now. You deserve better than this." It's a gentle reminder that everything that's meant for us will come, but only when it can bless us, not burden us. So when progress slows or plans seem to stall, it's important to trust that something unseen is working in your favor. The delay could be redirecting you to a safer, wiser, more fulfilling path. It could be sparing you from premature success that might have cost your peace, your relationships, or your balance. What looks like a setback might actually be a shield. In time, you'll look back and realize that what didn't happen for you was actually happening for your protection. Every season has its purpose, just as flowers bloom only when it's their time. Life, much like nature, moves in seasons. There are moments of planting, moments of growth, moments of harvest, and moments of stillness. Each season carries its own lessons and purpose. But we often forget this truth and become restless when our lives don't seem to be progressing the way we want. We compare our winters to someone else's spring, wondering why their flowers are blooming while our soil feels dry. Yet, what we fail to see is that every season plays an essential role in shaping us. Without the quiet of winter, there would be no preparation for spring. Without rain, there would be no blossoms. The same is true for our lives. Every delay, every pause, and every waiting period has meaning, even when we can't yet see it. When life places you in a season of waiting or struggle, it's not because you're forgotten. It's because you're being cultivated. Just as the farmer doesn't dig up the soil every day to check if the seed is growing, you too must trust that growth is happening beneath the surface. The seed needs darkness before it can reach the light. That darkness, those challenging moments, teaches endurance, faith, and patience. Many times, the most important transformations in our lives happen quietly, away from the spotlight, during the seasons that feel slow or silent. It's in those moments that our character takes root and our purpose deepens. Every season also brings a unique type of growth. Spring brings beginnings, summer brings abundance, autumn brings reflection, and winter brings rest. Likewise, there are times in our lives meant for creating, times for celebrating, times for releasing, and times for healing. Trying to rush one season into another only leads to frustration. You cannot force spring to come before winter ends. The timing of nature cannot be controlled. Similarly, your life seasons unfold at the pace that's right for your journey. When you try to bloom before your time, your growth becomes shallow and unsustainable. But when you allow each phase to play its role, you become rooted, resilient, and ready for lasting success. Sometimes we face seasons of pruning when life seems to take things away from us. It could be people, opportunities, or habits. It feels painful, but pruning is necessary for healthy growth. A tree that isn't trimmed won't bear as much fruit. The same goes for us. The things we lose in certain seasons are often the very things that make space for better ones to come. The delay in your progress could be your pruning period, a time when you're being shaped for a richer, fuller future. Understanding the rhythm of seasons helps us find peace. We no longer rush or resist what's happening. We begin to trust the timing of our lives, realizing that every phase serves a higher purpose. The season of struggle builds strength. The season of waiting teaches faith. The season of growth brings gratitude. And the season of abundance reminds us why the earlier seasons were necessary. Just as a flower never doubts when it will bloom, we too must trust our timing. Your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Even when the path seems barren, something beautiful is being prepared beneath the surface. When the time is right, when your roots are ready, you will bloom effortlessly, and your season will be worth every moment you waited. The waiting period refines you into the person capable of handling what you asked for. Often in life, we desire great things: success, love, recognition, peace. But we forget that every blessing comes with responsibility. The waiting period is not just about time passing. It's about transformation happening. It's where life shapes us, tests us, and prepares us for the weight of what we're praying for. If we receive everything too soon, we may not have the maturity or strength to sustain it. The delay, therefore, is not an obstacle. It's a training ground for our soul. It's where we learn patience, humility, gratitude, and endurance, so that when our time comes, we don't just receive the blessing, we're ready to protect and nurture it. Waiting refines our intentions. At first, we may want something because of ego, comparison, or the desire for validation. But as time goes on, as we wait and grow, our motives become purer. We begin to understand that what we truly seek isn't just the result, it's the purpose behind it. Waiting reveals whether we want something for the right reasons or just for the appearance of success. It separates genuine desire from temporary craving. Many times, the delay forces us to confront ourselves, to ask, why do I really want this? And in answering that, we evolve. We become more self-aware, more grounded, and more aligned with our truth. This period also strengthens character. The waiting tests our consistency and faith. Anyone can be enthusiastic at the start, but only those who endure through silence and delay build true resilience. It's in these quiet seasons that we learn discipline, showing up even when there's no visible result. It's like a sculptor chiseling away at stone day after day. The progress is slow, almost invisible, but eventually a masterpiece emerges. Similarly, waiting chisels away our impatience, pride, and fear. It smooths out the rough edges of our personality so we can carry our blessings with grace instead of arrogance. Waiting also deepens gratitude. When we've waited long for something, we don't take it lightly once it arrives. We appreciate it more deeply because we know the struggle, the tears, and the perseverance it took to get there. Quick success often breeds entitlement, but delayed success builds humility. You learn to honor the process and value every step that led you there. This kind of gratitude gives depth to your happiness. It makes your achievement meaningful because it was earned, not handed to you. Moreover, the waiting period helps align you with timing and purpose. Sometimes, what you desire is ready, but you're not. Other times, you're ready, but what you desire isn't. Waiting bridges that gap. It's the divine synchronization where both you and your blessing grow until the moment they can finally meet. When that alignment happens, everything flows naturally. The right opportunities, people, and circumstances come together effortlessly, and you realize that every delay had a reason. So, while waiting can be frustrating, it's actually one of life's greatest teachers. It transforms you from wanting something to becoming someone wiser, calmer, stronger, and more prepared for what lies ahead. The waiting period isn't empty time, it's sacred time. It's the workshop of destiny where your character is molded and your purpose takes shape. When your moment finally arrives, you'll not only receive what you asked for, you'll be the kind of person who can hold it with gratitude, strength, and grace.